300,000 Palestinians are right now making their return to what's left of their homes in the devastated Gaza Strip.
Humanitarian aid is now beginning to flood into cities, providing much-needed food, water and healthcare. For more, we're joined by Tess Ingram from UNICEF live in Gaza. Tess, thanks for your time. Appreciate it. How big of an operation is this for your organisation?
Well, we're talking about another mass people movement in the Gaza Strip. And of course, we've seen many of these over the past 15 months of people moving from north to south and south to north. But this one is particularly significant because it is people trying to get back to their homes for the first time in many cases in more than a year. People are living with that hope for so long that they're going to be returning to perhaps a building, perhaps family members, perhaps beloved pets or community spaces that they haven't been in for such a long time. So this really is a big job, a big moment for them and a big job for us, of course, because we will follow them there to make sure that they have the services that they need.
As we've just seen with that vision test, tragically, a lot of them won't have very much to return to, and they've been deprived for so long now of the basics and necessities of life. What will you be prioritising in terms of what aid they receive, whether it's medication, food, water?
Well, UNICEF is the United Nations Children's Agency, so our priority is to make sure children have the basics that they need to survive and that they're protected from harm. We're bringing in as a priority water and sanitation supplies because in the north in particular, water has been really really scarce. So trying to get that in order is a #1 priority, along with bringing in vaccines for immunisation, nutrition supplies to treat malnutrition and other essentials. And we're also providing services, Sarah, like mental health and psychosocial support to help children begin to understand what they've gone through and start coping with the reality of perhaps, as you say, returning to rubble.
Tess, just looking at this vision, I don't know how practically it all happens. So families are returning. What you have is multi-level apartment-like structures that have been destroyed. Presumably you have to get big, heavy equipment in there to demolish it, and then you have to start the rebuild. And we're talking about a year or two before their facilities are going to be open again.
It's a massive job ahead in Gaza if the ceasefire holds. But, what's really critical at the moment is less that rebuild part and more making sure that people have what they need right now. At the moment, there are families and children crossing into the north with nothing, children not wearing shoes, without food, without water. Many of them were living in makeshift shelters in the south that they weren't able to bring with them because they were really just cobbled together pieces of wood and hessian. So people now have to find new shelter in the north. And as you say, that rebuild's going to take a long time. So in the interim, UNICEF and other UN agencies really have to be there to make sure that we can scale up and support these hundreds of thousands of people that have just returned.
Yeah, and especially because they are going with so little, as you've mentioned there, Tess. If Australians just quickly do want to help, what can they do?
I think, the most important thing that Australians can do is continue to advocate for this ceasefire to hold. I have been in Gaza before the ceasefire and I am here now, and I can tell you that it is critical. It is making an enormous difference in terms of us getting supplies in and in terms of commercial goods coming in as well and restocking markets so people can choose to buy the things that they need. But beyond that, supporting humanitarian agencies like UNICEF is really important to make sure that we have the funds and the resources we need to do this work right now.
Good on you, Tess.
Incredible work you do. Thank you.